All right, what I have here is a Troy-Bilt tiller. It's a Super Bronco. Um, they're really nice little tillers. The only problem I can see with them, they're very light. They're not like heavy because I have a heavy tiller up there, and it makes a difference, the way you till. So if the ground is still got grass on it, it's a hard ground. It's going to be really hard for this to till it up. If I was you, I'd just go ahead and find somebody to till it the first time, and then you can use this any other time after that, because that's normally what I do. Now I just picked this one here up. Now I actually bought it last year, beginning of the year last year. I used it like twice, and then I had a little bit of problem with it. The pulley on the back of this motor actually came off. I lost the bolt. I lost uh, the little pin, and I lost the washer. Now you can't just put a regular washer on it. You have to order that washer. It's actually set different. It kind of sets out a little bit. So when you put the bolt in it, it presses back up against it and puts pressure onto that pulley. So you just can't put any kind of bolt or any kind, because they're case hardened bolts. But we went ahead and bought the parts and stuff. I pulled them offline and got it fixed. I put a little bit of Loctite. I didn't put the real strong stuff. Put a little Loctite just in case I have to get it back off. But other than that, it's been running pretty good. Now, when I first bought it, it run me a good bit of money. You can look up online what they cost. But I went ahead and bought seals for the back of the wheel, seals for the tines, and seals on the front, and it cost me around about 25 bucks, something like that, maybe $26 with everything. Because normally that's what happens to these. So when you go buy one of these, that's the first thing you look for is look at the tines on the back. These here, look at these tines, and look and see how much paint's on them or how thin they are, how much wear they have on them. And if they're really thin, the machine's got a lot of wear on it, so you taking a chance if you're not going to use it heavy, then it might be okay. And then also the seals behind the wheels, they all seem, everyone I've ever bought I've normally had to replace one or two of the seals, and that's the reason why I bought the seals for when I bought this new. But a lot of people when they sell them, they'll degrease them and they'll get them all cleaned up, and that still seal's still bad in it. But you really like to know if you're buying it with a bad seal or not, because of the wear. If you don't get to it right away, but then if you don't get to it right away, what happens is you just start, you start wearing that out, and it starts leaking. And then when you don't got enough oil inside of your um, rear end, or whatever you want to call it, your transfer or whatever, uh, if you don't have enough oil in it, of course you're going to end up burning the little gears up inside of it. But you can put your hand back there, and even if they clean it, you can put your hand. If it leaks, it's going to leak. I mean, just put your hand down there and see, and put a little bit, see if it's on your finger, and then you can test it that way. And then you can tell them, say, hey, maybe bring them down on the price a little bit if you still want to fix them. They're not really hard to replace. You can pick them out, and then just a lot of times clean them up, clean the shaft up a little bit, and then just go ahead and stick your new seals. Just tap them back in there. And then the second, well, actually the tines you look at, and then the seals, and then the last is always make sure because most of them people use them at the end of the year. They're tired. They're gardening, and they plowed it all year long, and they just go ahead and throw it into a shed or set it behind a building or something and cover it up, and that gas stays inside. And they don't put conditioner or something in them, and it lays inside the carburetors, and then it just kind of makes the carburetor. It's like a varnish, a yellowish varnish from the gas, and it can ruin a carburetor. Now, people do clean them. I see a point in really not cleaning them because, by the time you're sitting there cleaning it out, doing all the work to get it clean and running compressors on it, I just pick up a carburetor for $20 or whatever, and then just put a brand new carburetor on it. Seems a lot easier for me, and more hassle free. This one here, it's got an off and on button here, and you have a reverse here, and this is your forward right here. Of course, it's pull start with a 5 horsepower engine. You have locking wheels. You pull those pins out down there and slide the wheels in, stick your pin back in, and you can move this around a little bit better. Other than that, you pretty much would have to drag it. But it's not bad. You can look, like I said, if you look online for one, just make sure how much oil is leaking, because you want to get to it as soon as you can. So I'll go ahead and start this up, and we'll go ahead and run it, and I'll let you see how it tines. I've been playing around here a little bit ago. I did till this up a while back, so it's going to need it again here before I start putting some plants in. So, okay, let me get it started. Make sure I turn this button on first. Okay, this is your forward here, and there you go. I mean, it's pretty much like anything else. It doesn't like rocks, and I really have a rocky ground, which is not bad for my plants. I think my plants enjoy it. Okay, it's a very light tiller. If you're going to, like I said, if you have a harder ground, like I do, I have clay, and I had to bring in some sand to put on here so it would keep it from drying out so much. Like I said, my soil's got a lot of rocks. I put sand down here and there, some a little bit more topsoil, but it is a little difficult to plant into clay. So, but after a while, you kind of get used to it and kind of learn. So. It's not a bad tiller. It's a little bit light on the light side. I would say it's maybe a light to medium duty type tiller. So it's not really built for real heavy use. These were built a little bit better years ago than what they are now. They're the metal's a lot thinner on it. I had a couple older ones. You wouldn't believe how much heavier they were than what the new ones are. But if you're doing something like this, it would be just fine. Just make sure, I would suggest to make sure that you have somebody come in and till it first and then use this. And that way you can keep your tiller for many, many years and keep planting. Okay, if anybody got any comments, just leave them down below, and I'll get back as soon as I can. And thanks for watching.